According to a new report from New York City's Civilian Complaint Review Board, NYPD officers are more frequently knocking phones out of people's hands when they attempt to record their interactions with law enforcement. So this is taken from a 2014 through 2016. The CCRB received 346 allegations of police interference with civilian recording efforts. The city watchdog, which is the largest police oversight organization in the country, was able to independently verify 96 such allegations out of the 346 made, or 28% total, the report says. As for the rest of the complaints, 52% were lacking enough evidence for the board to make an accurate determination. 11% of the reported instances occurred but were found to be lawful, and another 6% were determined not to have occurred at all. The CCRB chair, Maya D. Wiley, commented saying, quote, "Technology has greatly increased civilians' ability to record and share video of police encounters, as is their First Amendment right. This has increased transparency and debate about safe and fair policing. As these recordings become more prevalent, our police force must be prepared for the profound ways that video will shape police practices." I took this story and this report as overwhelmingly positive because basically exactly what she says. Everyone needs to adapt to this fair policing, but then it's so disheartening to hear that what should be, something fair is being knocked out of the hands of civilians.
Right, and not only should it be fair, it's protected by law in I believe most states. There might be some states that have passed some laws to stop civilians from recording police officials. I know that police unions have fought tooth and nail in order to pass such laws because they don't like to be filmed, right? But my response to that is, you are literally a public servant, okay? You are paid by the individuals that you are supposed to protect and serve. And so as a result, you're in a public place. First of all, anyone in a public place, based on the law in general, has no reasonable expectation of privacy, okay? And so if you are upset that the individuals who are paying taxes for your salary are filming you working as a public servant, too bad. Right? Like you should be able to get filmed, right? Like people should be able to film you. They should be able to hold you accountable. If you're worried by that, my question is why? Why are you worried about that? Is it because you do something that might be deemed, unlawful or deemed an abuse of power? I don't know why else you would be so, if I'm out in public and someone's filming me, yeah, it's annoying, I guess, right? But if I'm not doing anything criminal or if I'm not doing something wrong, then why am I so concerned about it? And by the way, I'm not even a public servant. Like I'm a private citizen. You guys are public servants. Sorry if it annoys you, you gotta deal with it.
I've never had a police encounter, I don't know about you guys, where I felt as though the general disposition of the officer was that I'm paying his salary and so therefore he wants to in any way ingratiate himself to me. I mean, cops, when they stop you and when they interact with you, and certainly when they interact in this kind of, the sort of situations we see on TYT, they're interacting in a way that wouldn't suggest that they're beholden in any way to the person that they're
I know, and
over.
I understand that. And by the way, I'm not saying that, cops should approach everyone with the intention of playing patty cakes, right?
No, not at all.
Right? But what I'm trying to say is,
underlying it all.
There's a certain level of transparency that is expected of public officials, right? Anyone who has a public job, any type of government job, there's a certain level of transparency. And it's because taxpayer money goes toward paying for those jobs. And so you see it with salaries have to be disclosed. A lot of personal information has to be disclosed because you are a public servant. So the fact that they're so up in arms about people filming them while they're in public is just weird to me.
No, I think you're 100% right. I guess what I'm saying is that there is a sense of authority that they have in every stop and in every interaction. And that in some way must be engendered there in the department because they've all got it. I mean, there are some exceptions and maybe there are many exceptions, just like there are extremes in all of these cases. Perhaps most cops aren't that way, but the ones we see and a lot of them that we interact with have that authority and they come at it from that sort of authoritarian disposition.
Yeah, and what I like about the CCRB statement is that what they're saying is transparency is good for everyone, because if a cop is not doing the right thing, if it is not following the right procedures, then they should be called out, and other police should be like, yeah, please, let's weed out the bad apples, because it's making it more difficult for us to do our job, the really honest police officers, of which there are very, very, very many of. So I think that even though the CCRB is a watchdog organization, for them to just be like, look, we need to make sure that there is transparency and that this will lead to fair policing and debate and safety for everyone. I think that that's really good that they're highlighting what their concern is. We're calling this out not because we're trying to just be annoying for the sake of it, because this is a major safety concern. And I think that they did articulate that very well, because a lot of people, it shouldn't be police against civilians. It should be us working together for policing our communities safely and protecting and serving.
It should be a win-win.
Yeah, it should totally be a win-win. It's like sometimes I think we sort of lose sight of what police are for. We absolutely need them to do their jobs well.
What do you get for Young Turks membership? It's a mystery. Only one way to find out. TYTnetwork.com/join.